All right.
Welcome. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we're very honored tonight, and we wanted to honor Dr. Ellen Jensen by just first doing what I think is one of her favorite poems. And if you haven't read Health is Your Birthright, I definitely recommend reading that because this poem is, at least it felt like to me, was a proponent of her starting point. She talks about that this is what kind of got her out of um, the darkness in a way, or in a lot of pain and discomfort and craziness, and brought her into a totally different healing. And so we always, when we do these talks every Wednesday, and when we do them, we like to start off with a quote and or a poem. And so here it is.
Yeah. It says, "Don't quit when the tide is lowest, for it's just about to turn. Don't quit over doubts and questions, for there's something you may learn. Don't quit when the night is darkest, for it's just a while till dawn. Don't quit when you've run the furthest, for the race is almost won. Don't quit when the hill is steepest, for your goal is almost nigh. Don't quit, for you're not a failure until you fail to try."
Jill Wolfe. Dr. Ellen, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit just on how this impacted you when you came across this.
Yes. Well, I had scoliosis as a child, and they put a 16-inch rod in my spine. And when I was in my early 20s, I had an accident and the rod broke. And I was rushed to the hospital where they chiseled the rod out of my spine with an electric drill saw. Nearly lost my life. I was in severe pain. I lost a lot of hair. My vision was double for over a month. I could hardly walk. I had severe pain all over in all my muscles. And honestly, it just was so hard and I felt so sad. And somehow I just found this poem. And it was like, right, I'm not giving up. I'm going to find the way to build myself back up. And I said to God, if you just let me get well, I'll teach other people how to get well. So day by day, step by step, I worked on myself nutritionally, physically, mentally, emotionally. And this poem really, really was very, very uplifting for me in that darkest moment.
Wow. Wow.
So since then, I've been all over the world teaching and training people all over the world, helping people to come up out of their sickness and their pain. And I love iridology because it's a non-invasive form of analysis. And I had already had so many needles, knives, and drugs that when I found cleansing and fasting and nutrition and exercise and iridology, that was my path. And
Wow.
so that's what I've been doing and practicing day by day ever since. And I've traveled in, I can't even say how many countries, maybe 30, 40 countries all over the world. And I'm doing really well now. So, and I do it daily. I take care of myself. I really do a lot to keep myself healthy because I wanted more out of life than lying there looking at the ceiling, which the doctors thought I would do the rest of my life and be on drugs.
Wow.
But I flushed those drugs down in front of 12 doctors. And I said, if I can't get well naturally, then I just won't get well. So I just gave it up to God and the universe and nature. And I feel like a lot of our problems today are because we've gotten too far away from God and nature. And the laws that have been given to us through God and nature, we would have a beautiful planet. We would have healthy soil. We would have healthy food, healthy water. We'd all be happier and healthier if we hadn't gotten so greedy with fast foods and chemicals and all the things that have happened to our planet. And that's why you know, one by one, step by step, each of us needs to live this and not go to fast foods, not support them, and support the organic farmer and live a healthy life.
Absolutely. You know, and for those of you that, you know, this is maybe your first time connecting with Ellen, what a powerful story. I mean, just, I hope that's inspiring to you guys. And if you haven't, and if you've connected with Ellen before and never heard that story, I hope that's a wow for you on never giving up and not surrendering and keeping up the good fight. That's part of,
I found that when I kept believing and trusting and having faith, one door would open, another door would open, information would come, healers would come, everything would unfold until, you know, I ended up working with one of the most famous iridologists in the world, and marrying his son. I mean, it's just that when I made that decision, I didn't turn back. I went forward with nature. Nature was my doctor.
yeah. And that, you know, and that's where we align. And, you know, so just, you know, for all of you that don't know us, you know, it was kind of a crazy story how we connected with Ellen. You know, so I'm Dr. Matthew.
I'm Dr. Michelle.
And we have a company called Dr. Me and You, and pretty much we try to teach people, right? If you really look up the word doctor, it does not mean to prescribe. It does not mean to puncture and do invasive stuff or surgery. It doesn't mean to just, you know, give you a pill. It means to actually to teach from within. And so that's really what we try to embody, and that's what we try to do. And it was kind of crazy how we met her. We were working with an ophthalmologist, and he had mentioned, oh, you should, you know, look into iridology and look into that. And then I found the International Iridology Association, and I was just looking for training because I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious. And it was kind of crazy because, you know, Ellen, you weren't even, you know, listed in the top tier of, you know, I don't know if they do it alphabetically or, you know, whatever, but you weren't listed at the very top. And I remember reading, you know, about, obviously, because if you come across iridology in the United States, you come across Bernard Jensen. And so then when I was on their website, I was like, oh, there is a Jensen. I wonder if they're related. And then I went to that, and then I was like, oh my God, why is this listed all the way down? Like, this is the person that was literally their right hand, you know, person for 20 plus years, been doing it for 40, 50 years, had their own journey with it in so many ways. Like you said, you went to 35 different countries. You got a PhD, then you got a doctorate in naturopathy. You know, then you went and got certified by the American Institute of Integrative Medicine. You know, I mean, you're a content expert. I feel like you're a guru, not just in iridology, but nutrition.
And herbology.
And herbology, yeah. I mean, and it's just kind of inspiring to just watch you cycle through the large thesaurus and dictionary and content that you have, encyclopedia of content that you have collected over the years. And so, you know, speaking about that alignment of, like, we have been looking for, you know, mentors and people to learn from, and, you know, to come across you was just what a blessing to come across you and start learning. And so it's
we're really excited.
We're really excited. So you guys are in for a great treat of essentially an introduction into a little bit, just kind of dipping into a little bit of iridology, because there's a lot of depth to it. But there's also a lot of great basic things that you can even, you know, walk away with that I think you will tonight. And then you can save all your questions until the very end. And if you want, you can put it obviously in the chat so that we don't lose track of that. And then at the very end of Dr. Ellen speaking, we'll do a raffle. We have 3 prizes. So hopefully you'll stay on until then, at least. And then, you know, some of the best parts will be in the Q&A so I hope you guys stay on after that.
That's our hangout time.
It's a hangout time.
So we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. So, right. All right, Dr. Allen.
Okay, so some of my students here have studied some of these things, but Dr. Matthew and Dr. Michelle asked me if I would do an introduction to iridology for those that have not. And for me, it is my passion, it is my life. When I found out that the eyes were a non-invasive form of analysis to where we can actually look in the eyes and see whole worlds. I mean, they just are whole worlds in everybody's eyes. And no two eyes are alike in the whole universe, not even twins. And those are specific little messages within the eyes that tell us so much about a person's body, their mind, their personalities. I just love it, and it's very fascinating, and that way we can guide people. Bernard Jensen was a master, absolute master at iridology and nutrition, and he said that they were twins and that you couldn't have one without the other. And so if you see an area that needs nurturing, and I call them nurture points in the eyes, he taught me very, very thoroughly from top to bottom, inside out, which organs and tissues need certain foods according to the nutrients that they would offer for those organs. And so I just love iridology and nutrition, and I've seen it work miracles on thousands of people. So we'll go forward now. So what is iridology? It's the study of the color. First of all, I like to look at the color because all of the color is going to tell us a great deal about that person's health and about their genetics. And where the certain pigmentations are located will tell us a lot. So it's the study of the color, the pigmentations, and the structure of the iris, of the eye, as they relate through reflex response to the genetic strengths and deficiencies of the body systems, much like foot reflexology. So as we know, we connect through the whole body, through the feet.
Alex.
We also connect through the ears. We connect through the face, and we connect through the eyes. So the eyes are complete and whole stories about our lives and 4 generations past. Okay. The nerves of the eye, there are 28,000 nerve endings in each iris that go to all parts of the body. And the optic nerve that connects to the iris connects to the brain and the spinal cord. So that spinal cord is not just one cord, it's a bundle of millions of nerve fibers, over 1 million nerve fibers that transmit impulses to all parts of the body. So when we look at the back of the person, we can see the right eye connects to the left brain hemisphere, and then it crosses again over to the right side of the body. And the left eye connects to the right brain hemisphere, and it crosses again to the left side of the body. So from the right eye, we're able to see what's going on in the left brain hemisphere. And from the left eye, we can see what's going on in the right brain hemisphere. But for the most part, the right iris tells us about the right side of the body, and the left iris tells us about the left side of the body. So we'll go forward. This is me in my practice, and my first iris camera was $20,000. So some people bought cars, I bought a camera. You know, that was my priority, and they're much less expensive now. But if you can imagine in the very beginning, we had film cameras. And that camera wasn't as expensive as my first video camera. But I was with Bernard Jensen the first time we were able to portray an eye up on a television screen. It was a very historical day because always before we had to develop the eye pictures, put them, I had to bring them all back. I had to take 4 pictures of each eye, put them on a screen and pick out the best one and put them in carousels to project onto a screen, 2 screens. And I would sit and analyze eyes all day long when I worked with him. So I photographed eyes, I analyzed eyes, and Bernard Jensen was anxious to get a camera that would take the eye pictures and put them directly on the screen. And so when that happened, we did that for over 100 people. It was the most exciting historical day when that happened. And we know that our original Iridology founder, Ignaz von Pexley, who drew some of the first iris pictures, it was his great nephew whose eye we photographed that day and put on the screen. So he was at Dr. Jensen's health ranch, just happened to be there for that class and for that time. So it was all just very, very historical. So now we have digital cameras where I can show the eye directly on the screen. And I have used this camera now for many, many years. And I just love it because I can show the people what's going on immediately. Yeah. So we'll go. I love this little girl. She had some stomach issues I worked with her on. Okay, and she got well. So the 3 iris colors, we know that a large part of our world have brown eyes. And the reason for that is because of the bright sunshine. And so the largest part of our world have brown eyes, and they have developed pigment to protect them from the very bright light. And then we have the blue-eyed people that are from the cold regions, like Norway and Sweden. They mostly all have blue eyes because they don't need as much pigment to protect them from light. Then the marrying of these 2 created the mixed eye, which we see up here in the left-hand corner, where we can see pigment, but we can see fibers underneath. And each one of these colors tells us a great deal about a person's genetics, because after questioning thousands of people with the brown eye, we found that they have blood anomalies, thick blood, thin blood, high blood pressure, anemia, sickle cell anemia, blood sugar issues. And the blue-eyed people tend to have lymphatic conditions. And if we understand the body, the lymph fluid flows where the blood cannot flow. It lines the eyes, it lines the joints, and we need that lymph fluid to keep us loose, limber, and pliable. It lines our joints to keep us from getting arthritis. It lines our eyes so that we can move our eyes around easily. And we found out that these people with this lymph tendencies, they have a tendency for lymph congestion. So things that would clog up the lymph the most are gluten in wheat and rye, cow milk, which is high in casein that they make furniture glue with, and sugar, which is very, very sticky. So I know when I was a child, we made paste with white flour and water. So a lot of people eat white flour bread and wonder why they have sinus congestion. Children are getting tubes in their ears because they're eating lots of ice cream. And so these people need to avoid gluten, cow, dairy, and sugar. And the only thing that moves the lymph is exercise, because our lymph nodes are all along our joints. Skin brushing, where you would get a vegetable bristle brush with a long wooden handle and brush your skin toward your heart. And the brown-eyed people, they need to build their blood. So dark greens and beets and things like that help the blood. And then the mixed-eyed people, genetically, they tend to have digestive and liver issues. And so we have to work with them many times with food combining, digestive enzymes, getting bitter greens to help that liver flush. Anytime you take bitters, you can actually buy bitters called Swedish bitters at your health food store, and just take a little bit before your meal, and it will tell your brain to tell your liver to get the bile into the digestive tract. So we can tell all of that from just these 3 colors of eyes. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
So we'll go forward. And then we look at the structure of the eyes. And the structure is underneath the pigment. And that structure is made with iris fibers. But what I'm trying to point out here is, as iridologists, we learn to read and understand the meanings of these patterns that are in the iris of the eye. And no 2 eyes are alike. Each color and marking has a unique meaning for everyone. So when I was in Costa Rica, they have 1/10 of the world's butterflies there in that country. And so I was able to see lots of butterflies, and I found this chart where a scientist had gone in over 50 countries and photographed the letters of the alphabet and the numbers 1 through 9 and 0 on butterfly wings. So my point is, if God can put letters and numbers in butterfly wings, what about messages that we can see in the iris of the eye? Okay, go forward. Here we have A, B, C, D. They're pretty amazing. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I have a book on exactly where he found all those in swamps and in mountains and using a high-powered magnifying lens. I think it's amazing. Okay. So Hippocrates was born in ancient Greece in 460 BC, and he was known as the father of medicine, and he stated, "Behold the eyes, behold the body." So we know about him. He didn't have x-rays in those days, and he used the eyes to understand a person's health. So he looked at the colored part of the eyes, the pupil of the eyes, the white part of the eyes, and all around the lids of the eyes. Okay. And Dr. Bernard Jensen had tuberculosis as a young man. He nearly died. The doctors sent him home because there was nothing else they could do for him. And he found a Seventh-day Adventist nutritionist doctor that helped him get well. He had eaten lots of ice cream because he worked at a dairy while he was going through chiropractic school because he wanted to gain weight. He was so skinny. But he took so much ice cream, his lungs got all congested with mucus and plaque. So when he got off all of that and followed good nutrition and raw vegetable juices, he got well. And when he found out about iridology, that was his path, and he brought it out to thousands of people worldwide. This is my chart, and this chart is based on hundreds of charts that were brought together from around the world. And Bernard Jensen created a chart in the 70s. And then I added 25 years of research to his chart. And I also added color to my chart. So we can quickly see the stomach area in green, the intestinal area in tan, the blood zone in dark pink, the muscle zone in light pink, the bone zone in gray, the lymph in light blue, and the skin in dark blue. Then I put the heart areas in red, and I put the organs and glands in purple. And so that way we can quickly see where different organs and glands are located. So how the iris map came into being. This was Ignaz von Pexley, who was the very first to start drawing iris charts that we are aware of. When he was a little boy, he noticed a peculiar marking on the iris of an owl that had broken its leg. Now, he was in a garden, according to the story, and the owl landed on his arm.
Oh, fuck,
And
come on.
the leg, he broke his leg, and he saw a marking in the owl's eye. So years later, when he growing up, he started looking in people's eyes. And after seeing lots of people with markings in the eyes, he started correlating them with their health. So he fervently studied eyes and drew the signs that he saw there. So after seeing hundreds of people with heart trouble, and they all had a marking at 3 o'clock in the left iris, and they all had heart trouble, he drew a marking there. And after seeing hundreds of people with kidney concerns, and they had markings between 6 and 7 in the left iris and 5 and 6 in the right iris, he drew the kidney area there. So that's how he started mapping out the eyes according to markings he saw and health conditions that that person had. And so he just kept drawing maps, and we've been amazed how accurate some of his drawings actually were. So then we also have zones in the iris of the eye, so we can quickly see where things are located. So zone number 1 is in green, and that's the area of stomach and digestion. And zone number 2 is in tan, and that's intestines and absorption, where we absorb. Together, those two zones are called the nutritive zone, which takes care of nutrition in the body, or the pupillary zone, which is meaning that it's located around the pupil. And here we can see a well-outlined nutritive zone, and this raised ropey area is what we call a collarette. Everyone has a collarette, and it outlines the intestinal zone for absorption. And so when we see that collarette, we look at the shape, we look at how it's located, and it tells us a lot about the type of digestion a person has. Okay, next. So if we have a collarette that's far out with lots of what we call lacuna, which are actually holes inside of it, this is a sign of a tendency for irritable bowel, diverticulitis, diverticulosis, bloating, gas, lots of things like that that we're going to work with to help them improve their digestion. So with diverticulitis, you get little pockets all throughout your large intestine, and they can become very inflamed, and many times they weaken, and your transverse colon can prolapse and press on in a woman, their uterus and ovaries, in a man, the prostate. They always press on the bladder. So you can have urgency with having to urinate, and lots of pain in your digestive tract. Now, to help raise that prolapsed colon back into place, we want to lie on a slanting board with your head at 45 degrees angle down. Now, I had all the nerves cut to my intestinal tract because all the nerves from the spine go to your digestion. So if you've had any spinal injuries, it can very hugely affect your digestion. So I lie on the slanting board every day for 15 or 20 minutes and massage my colon while I'm there and just work on keeping my organs up in place where they need to be. This also improves the circulation to your head, your eyes, your sinuses, and your brain. If you have elevated blood pressure, it's not a good idea, or if you're pregnant, to get on a slanting board, but otherwise you're fine. And don't sit straight up to get off. You want to roll off and gently help yourself stand up. So these are the tennis balls I use. I like to have joy in life, so I got tennis balls with smiley faces. And I massage my colon with my tennis balls every day while I'm lying on the slanting board. And we start just inside the right hip. You can do this, you know, first thing in the morning, still lying in bed, if you don't have a slanting board. But you want to start inside your right hip, down low, and then just a massage in a circular motion up, across the middle of your abdomen and down in the way the peristalsis moves to help you have better bowel elimination. So zone 3 is just outside the collarette, and that's the zone of the blood, and some lymph is there. And that is where the blood, a lot of people don't realize, all your blood travels in and out of your intestinal tract, and it will pick up nutrients by osmosis and take them to all parts of the body, or toxins that may be there and take them to all parts of the body. So if you have brain fog, you probably have a lot of toxicity in your gut, because the blood will pick up toxins or nutrients depending on what's in your intestinal tract and take it to all parts of your body. Next. We'll go ahead. And then we have the zone of the bones, or actually, I should have talked about the muscles first. The light pink area is the muscles. So after the blood has picked up the nutrients, it takes it to the muscles. And then, there you go, the light pink, zone number 4. And then to the bones, which is zone number 5, which is gray, which is our area where the food goes to next. And then it goes to the lymph, which is the light blue. And your lymph is all about detoxification. It starts detoxifying any toxins that your blood has picked up. So that's when you may get swollen lymph nodes or fevers or whatever, because your lymph is trying to eliminate that or protect your body from it. And the lymph flows right underneath the skin, which is the dark zone there. And so many times when we have breakouts on the skin, that lymph is eliminating those toxins out through the skin. And that's why we need to be doing our skin brushing every day. It prevents moles, skin tags, warts, psoriasis, eczema, acne, all kinds of problems. We've got to keep our largest organ of elimination clean. So skin brushing is very important to help the lymph eliminate out through the skin. This was a lady. She was one of my clients. She had severe psoriasis, and she was 35 when she found me, and she had had this since she was 15. And it was cracking and bleeding all over her body. And she would get on her knees every night and pray for help. So I worked with her. It took about a year, and we'll go next. And after 4 months, of doing nutrition and cleansing, that skin had cleared up this much. And after a year, it cleared up 100%. But she had been on a very toxic diet, lots of fast foods, lots of sugar, lots of sodas. She drank alcohol. She was actually an alcoholic and a smoker, which after a year of counseling with me and working on her emotions, she also joined AA. She was able to eliminate all those toxins from her body, and getting her colon cleansed was very, very helpful in helping her clear her skin. Okay. Now, the border of the pupil is actually live nerve tissue. And that border of the pupil is actually where we're seeing a part of the brain right there right around the pupil, because it connects completely to the brain and the spinal cord. And when you have an injury to any part of your spine, it will put a blow to the nerve root that serves that part of the pupil. So when you've had an injury to a part of the spine, for example, the upper cervical part, if you got a whiplash or you hit your head, your pupil will flatten out at the top and on the upper side. If you have an injury to the middle part of your spine, your pupil will flatten out on the outer sides or the lower part. So we can see exactly where the pupil is flattening and what part of the spine has been injured, and where they need to get an adjustment with their chiropractor. I had one gentleman one time that had a severe flattening at the top of his pupil, and he was having terrible vertigo. So we know that the inner ear and the upper cervical connect to the inner ear, which can cause vertigo. And so I asked him if he'd had a head injury, and he said, "Oh, no." So I said, "Well, what are you doing for a living?" And he said, "I'm painting ceilings." So he always had his head thrown back all day, every day. And he had just gotten that job not very long ago. And then he said, "I do remember as a child, my dad was a chimney sweep, and I fell down the chimney head first and hit my head." So he had forgotten about that. And when he started painting ceilings, he re-injured his cervical spine. And I was able to see exactly what was causing his vertigo. So when I sent him to a craniosacral therapist and an upper cervical chiropractor, that all went away, and he was able to heal his spine and heal the vertigo. There we see an upper cervical flattening, and we call this a superior nasal flattening because it's at the top on the side of the nose. And that has everything to do with the cervical spine. So it's very easy to see these flattenings. Bernard Jensen was a chiropractor in addition to a nutritionist, an herbalist, a naturopath, and an iridologist. So he created this chart because he was very fascinated by the spine and what parts of the body. So you can see that upper cervical connects to the brain, the ears, the eyes, and the nose and throat. So keeping the spine aligned so that all the nerves are getting energy to all the organs of the body is very important. And when it's out of balance, we can see it in the pupillary border. So iridology is one of the finest methods I know of for seeing genetic strengths and deficiencies in the body. It also tells us where injuries are in the moment, and it helps us to know the areas of the body that need strengthening through diet and exercise to help us prevent health problems and live a longer, healthier life. Iridology is just so amazing for helping even a little child that may have a weakness in their sinuses and ears, to help the parents keep them off dairy products so they won't have to get ear tubes. Or we can actually see a genetic weakness in a child in any area, example, the heart, and it's in the family line. So you want to start them on a track so that they will prevent problems that their parents or grandparents had. So the eyes are a master science of genetics, and we can also see things going on in the present moment as well.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Wonderful.
Man, what a packed filled information of 40 minutes. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. We wanted to let you guys know that that obviously we're about to go into the Q&A, and in the meantime, we wanted to let you know about these specific 4 things, and the fact that you have a special coupon code that you can go onto Ellen Jensen's website, type in Sunfood, it's lowercase, all one word, Sunfood 15, and you can get 15% off of the Simplified Guide to Iridology, this is a basic guide of iridology. So if you're not sure that you're ready for, let's just say, an online course or anything like that, and you want to just get some basic understanding, that's a great place to start. The Sunfood is phenomenal. I cannot tell you enough on that, at least on our end.
I've started recommending it to patients as their go-to multivitamin.
It
So
is.
I could tell you about it.
Yeah,
Please
please.
So the Sunfood, I actually developed that product for myself, because when I started working for Bernard Jensen, he had me on about 6 or 8 different things. And I decided, I'm going to put them all into one capsule so I don't have to take so many things. But it has chlorella, which helps to pull heavy metals and chemicals out of the body and balance the blood sugar. And it has barley grass, which is very similar to wheatgrass, which fights all kinds of things, even like cancer, or it builds the immune system. The reason I put barley grass is because so many people are afraid of the word wheat because they have allergies to wheat, and barley grass works the same as wheatgrass, full of chlorophyll, which builds your blood. And then the chlorella balances your blood sugar. And then also it has dulse from the cold waters of Nova Scotia, which is high in natural iodine to help your strengthen your thyroid gland. And then I put in there beet to help cleanse your liver and your gallbladder. And I put in there acerola, which is a natural vitamin C, because people don't realize that if you don't, it has rose hips and acerola, which have the vitamin C and the bioflavonoids. Because when people don't have that, especially as they age, they start getting receding gums and bruising in the body. We need those bioflavonoids to strengthen and prevent bruising and receding gums, and also to build the immune system. So it's a pretty complete whole food, and I called it Sun Food because every single organic nutrient in that product has been nourished by the sun and the soil. So, yeah, it's a rainbow product. It has all kinds of really good things in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare for us to eat the rainbow of foods in today's lifestyle, and this is a great way to get that in. And if you have a multivitamin, I would highly recommend changing that out for this. At least we do for sure, because
it's made a huge difference.
It's made a huge difference in digestion, energy, everything. But obviously, digestion is one of the quickest things that I noticed when starting to take this.
And Bernard Jensen always said, eat a rainbow salad every day. So there you have it. It's right there. And I won't travel without it, because so many times when I go to countries like Sri Lanka, or, they may not have the type of salads I eat here.
Wow. Awesome. And then obviously health is your birthright. This is, if you're not even wanting to touch iridology, but you just want to figure out a way to have a bunch of amazing resources at your fingertips for either your kids, family, friends,
It's
loved
a
ones.
Go-to guide in your medicine cabinet.
It is. It's a great go-to guide because it's also easily accessible, meaning all the resources are easily accessible. It's not like she's saying, "Oh yeah, go do a sauna," and then you got to buy some $4,000 or $5,000 machine. So there is a lot of great, simple, easy ways for you to implement and take, have, health be your birthright, right? That take control of your health and find simple ways to implement things either between nutrition or teas or exercise, different forms of movement. She goes into all different types of, movement that you might enjoy, and then goes into different symptomology and says, okay, if you're dealing with, diabetes, here's something to go through. So it really is unique on the amount of packed information this book entails. And then obviously, if you guys are ready, the online iridology class, obviously seeing her in person is, there is no way to take that away. You definitely want to, if you have the opportunity. She just had a class, just a week ago, last week.
We finished Saturday night. It was a 6-day seminar for certification.
But even if, don't think of certification as you need to be a doctor. Even if you want to have, be a content expert in your own right, in your home, for your kids, for your loved ones, for your husband, for your wife, whatever.
Or your community.
Or your community. I think it really is an amazing thing. And so if you're not able to see her live, you can definitely see her in this recording. That's what we did. And we loved it because there's, we were talking at the very beginning that this has just been so many layers of information in the recorded version. And so, you can rewatch it and re-listen to it. And
we find ourselves pausing and discussing and making references and checking the chart. And
so it really is a great way to dive into taking control of your health, because you can take pictures of your eyes, right? You might not be able to go in and afford to go see, X-ray and MRIs and CAT scans and PET scans and this and that. But this is something you can do once a year for your own self to really take control of your health. So I definitely highly recommend it. It's worth its weight in gold, in my opinion. And again, if you've been waiting to maybe dip your toes into one of these aspects of Ellen Jensen's world, use the Sun Food 15 because it's 15% off of any one of these items.
So Bernard Jensen asked me before he passed away to never forget the average person, and that iridology is for everyone. And mothers and fathers, number one, can really benefit from it. And even if they just get a 10-power magnifying lens from our website, you can see so much in the eyes. Even if you just read Simplified Guide to Iridology, you'll be able to learn what constitution your child is and what nutrients they need and how to help get them on a good path in life for good health.
And just so you know, like even for us, when we were doing the online iridology class, even if price is a factor, I mean, they're connected with payment plans where you can do through PayPal and do 6 months. And so, I mean, that's what we did just to make it simple. So again, it's worth a lot because it's a lot of amazing information. I mean, it just really is. So we've already started kind of implementing it and doing it and getting pictures of family members' eyes already. So it's been really great.
I just want to help everyone live a healthy life. That's what my whole life is about.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So in the meantime, what we also wanted to offer all of you that are still on before we get into the Q&A is we actually wanted to offer some giveaways. So we wanted to pay for someone to actually do an appointment with Ellen. Obviously, you don't have to be there in person. She does people all over the world. So you don't need to be there. And then we also wanted to raffle off one of the bottles of Sun Food for somebody, and Health is Your Birthright. So we also wanted to raffle off one of the books. And so I think
So we're gonna take a minute and we just want to make sure we have everybody's names and then we're gonna put it up on the screen. And if you don't see your name for any reason, let us know before we do.
Yeah, so we wanted to copy and we're gonna copy and paste all the names that we think we have so far into the chat. And hopefully,
So I know we're missing some people that came on a little bit later than when we were making this list. So let us know or raise your hand if we need to add you.
so here's the full list that we have so far. So if you're not listed on here, then just type your name in and then we'll add it and then we can do this right.
They have my names on there when they put this list.
Mark and Stacy Worley. Okay.
Okay.
Michelle Pepperoni.
Mhm.
Lisa H. And Aaron Douglas. I think we got Miku.
Wait, go. Yeah, we got. Well,
I thought you got Andrea Perez, no?
I did, but Michelle.
What do you mean, Michelle? Oh, PAP. Mhm.
Okay.
Let's see, Karen Douglas. We got Miku and Vernetta Warfield. Oh, and Bell Long, Adam Heaton, Vernetta. Adam Heaton. Where did Jordy get Adam?
I just didn't put the last name.
And Beth Long. No, this is great. I mean, what a
Thank
great
you,
job,
guys.
everyone. So this is
Okay.
wonderful that we could do this.
I think we got.
Roxanne. And then Lisa Chapman. I don't think we got Lisa.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, we got Lisa. You can take me off the list. Are you sure, Martha? You don't want, I mean, okay, fair enough. No, we can take you off.
Let someone else win.
So we're
And
taking off.
Martha Bowers. Yeah, right there, 45. I don't see my name, Roxanne Padmore.
There, yep.
Yeah, we got you, Roxanne. Awesome. Okay.
You can take my name off too.
Whatever. No, you got to definitely be on, Mom.
I'll
Dr. Ellen
just
needs to
steal.
see your eyes. She needs to see your eyes. Don't be afraid.
I'll just steal your bottle.
Yeah, sure. All right. And you can take Springtown Ward off the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right there. 11. Awesome. Okay, I think that's everyone. So now that we have those extra names on, is that right? 51?
Yep, that's what I got on my end.
Awesome. So we'll copy those. Oh. Okay, so this is kind of cool because it's a trip to kind of watch, actually. So here it is. It's the Wheel of Fortune.
It's rainbow colors.
Rainbow colors. So then the first thing that we'll do is the sun food. All right.
I'll just make a note.
Brielle J.
J.
And so hopefully you guys, you know Ellen, I'm sure if you're one of our people, then, we'll reach out, but you'll just connect with, Ellen Jensen's team and we'll coordinate the rest. We'll obviously, pay for that and do that dance, and then they'll coordinate with you guys. So that's kind of what we'll do, but we'll definitely give Jennifer and Ellen and Martha the names just so that they have them also. All right. So then the next one is we'll do the Health is Your Birthright book. and hopefully Burrell won't win again. If she does, then we definitely
Oh.
need to redo it.
Oh my
All right, so we'll remove. There we go.
There we go.
Now we'll remove it and we'll go again. All right.
Oh,
Health is Your Birthright book. I think that was the indie up thing. Or no, Michelle Papelman. No, that was down. Sorry. Yeah, okay. And then we'll remove just so that we don't make that mistake again. And then this is the appointment. So this is someone will get an appointment with Dr. Ellen. Jean. I'm not sure which Jean. I wonder if it's our Jean or a different Jean. Okay. Let's see. So we'll stop sharing. All right. So we wanted to get into any kind of questions. We have everyone's at least information. You know, you can either contact Dr. Ellen's office to do the appointment, to get the sun food. And so just a reminder of who those people are. Jean is who won the appointment. And then Brielle J is who won the sun food. And then Michelle P won the Health is Your Birthright book. And so we'll be emailing those names over, and then you can connect with Ellen or you can connect with us, and then we'll direct you to Ellen to get those winning items. But please feel free to ask questions. We would be delighted. This is kind of our fun time to do Q&A with people.
and just hang out and chat as a community. And even if you share stuff that has worked for you in the past, or if you have a story of healing that you want to share with the community, sometimes that can spark inspiration for other people.
And I think we actually had some
And we had a
questions
couple questions, yeah.
at the beginning.
One was about skin brushing. Do you do it wet or dry?
Yeah, that's
dry.
right.
You do it dry before your shower. And then you
Awesome.
get in your shower and wash it all off.
And then I have a daughter with acne. Should she use a brush on her face to help eliminate the toxins on it?
We have a little, there is a little face brush that's very soft that she can use. But if you have acne, there is an herb called saw palmetto. Just one a day can help balance the hormones, because a lot of times acne is hormonal. And then I also like for them to use an organic soap, which I recommend Miracle 2 because it's pH balanced. I'm not trying to sell anything for anybody, but I've found that it's pH balanced. It's a liquid. So you can use a nice warm washcloth and put some of this soap on there and lather up your face morning and night, and then rinse with really cold water to close your pores. And then use just a little bit of a really good organic moisturizer, such as Christina Moss has good organic moisturizers. So that acne, and then you've got to get off any sodas or sugar or white flour, all the things that will cause acne to be worse.
All right. So then someone asked if the recording will be available afterwards. Yes, we're gonna put that out for everyone and share that with everyone in our camp and in Dr. Ellen's camp. They'll be sending it out to everyone that's on their email list.
One more thing about acne or skin period is oat straw tea, because it's very high in silicon, which is the skin mineral. And you can order oat straw from Mountain Rose Herbs. You order it as straw. It's not tea bags. And Dr. Jensen used to say, don't you want your hair and skin to be as shiny as a beautiful horse that eats oat straw? And they have a lot of spirit and spark and health, because oat straw tea high in silicon helps your nerves, your hair, and your fingernails.
Awesome.
You want
And
me to
then-
tell them how to make it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you don't make it like regular tea. You have to boil like a quart of water, and to each cup of water, you add 4 heaping teaspoons of straw. So in a quart, it's 4 cups. So you add 4 heaping teaspoons of straw, turn the burner down to simmer, put the lid on it, let it simmer for 10-15 minutes, then turn the burner off and let it sit another 10 or 15 minutes, then strain it. And you can drink it warm or cool, but it's really, really good for settling your nerves, for making your hair strong, your skin strong, your fingernails strong. And you can use it as a base for soups or oatmeal.
Yeah, we've been doing oat straw tea now since your class for the last like month or two. We've been ordering a bunch, and we love it. I mean, it's
And I've been working on my eczema for the better part of the last couple of years. And I'd gotten it at a pretty manageable level, but I really feel like the oat straw tea kind of pushed it over the edge to allow it to really fully heal up, because I haven't had any eczema in several months now.
yeah,
That's amazing. That's so awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's that one important nutrient that your skin's missing that it needs it to repair with.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. It says, Ellen, your chiropractic and nutritional chart caught my interest. I've noticed changes in the color of my pupils. According to your chart, the pupils represent the colon. In this case, can you interpret what color indicates a good or bad condition of the colon? Does the relationship between the color of pupils and the condition of the colon vary from person to person?
So we're talking about the pupil, which is the black hole in the iris. It's always black. So I'm not sure if you're talking about the iris around the pupil, but when it's really, really dark right around the pupil, those people tend to have more congestion in their intestinal tract and have to work on it.
Excellent. Someone asked what the cost of the iridology chart is. We were pulling up your website. It says the iridology chart transparent grids are $7.50.
Yeah, those are the grids, but not the chart. So
Oh, because the grids overlay.
there's
the
a
grids
big
overlay.
chart and a smaller chart.
Mm.
Let's see. And then let's see. We're on iridology tools, but we don't. Oh, there it is, charts. Okay. Let's see. The 11x17, which is probably the one you would want to go with, in my opinion, is $21. The 8.5x11, which is a normal printed paper, but that's also laminated, is 16. And then they also have a small laminated that's in Spanish, just in case that you want to go that route. You
And
know?
a wallet size.
And a wallet size. Oh yeah, no wallet size.
Just
you can
keep it in your wallet. So if you have your magnifying glass and you travel around, you can look in people's eyes and see what's going on.
And so to get to that, everyone, you will just go to products on ellenjensen.com, and then you'll go to products, and then under Ellen's name under products, you can go to charts, or Bernard Jensen's name and go to charts, and that will take you to all the different wonderful charts. And there's a lot more than just the ones that she went over. There's a lot of great ones. There's one that I remember was in one of Bernard's books, which does all the colon and the reflex of all that connection to the different organs, which is really, really cool. So I would definitely highly recommend looking at that.
So when you're massaging your colon with a tennis ball, you're actually massaging your entire body, because the colon connects to all parts of the body.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I never even thought about it, but yeah, that's 100. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and that's such an overlooked area, especially when we go to massage places here in the US. Because I know in other places, like in Asia, for example, they really get into the whole body, including the intestinal area and the front of the
Right.
stomach. But here in the US, they tend to kind of just stick to the back and the shoulders, which, you know, misses a good amount of what you need relaxing for.
And if you've never
Oh,
had a
and-
stomach massage, you should do that. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, you can do it yourself, but I mean, go get somebody that's really studied stomach massages, and it's really unreal for sure.
It helps your whole body.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone asked what to do if you have bleeding in the back of your eyes.
So bleeding, anytime there's bleeding, there's a weakness in the blood vessels. So the blood vessels become weak because of a lack of certain nutrients. And the most important nutrient needed by the blood vessels is bioflavonoids, which is in vitamin C. So you need to take extra bioflavonoids. You can buy, I mean, my Sun Food is amazing for that.
Mhm.
Wild blueberries are high in bioflavonoids. As a matter of fact, bilberry, which is a supplement sold for the eyes, is the German wild blueberry. And also cabbage and cabbage juice is really high in bioflavonoids. So I also have people blend cabbage and make a mush and just lay it on their eyes. And that juice can soak in and help nourish and heal those blood vessels, as well as drinking cabbage juice. If you want to mix it half and half with apple or carrot, I would do carrot if it was eyes. Carrots really help the eyes. So I would take like 1,000 milligrams of bioflavonoids twice a day, or Sun Food twice a day, and use cabbage juice, and make cabbage poultices for your eyes.
And this is why we say that Dr. Ellen is a savant and a guru with nutrition and health at home tools. So if you haven't done an appointment with her, I highly recommend it. We're actually going in to do one in August. So I urge you to learn from her for sure. All right. Considering all of your travels, was there a particular culture or country that used eye analysis more so than other cultures already? Is the question.
Well, in Germany, they, like I have volumes from Dr. Joseph Deck and Dr. Joseph Ungerer. They were, and Theodore Kriege, Dr. Hauser, Carl, and Stoltz. They, and Felke, the Felke Institute, they've been doing iridology over there since the 1800s. And some of them went to prison because they had to suffer because the medical profession didn't want them practicing iridology. But during World War II, like Dr. Joseph Deck, they couldn't use x-rays or anything. They used iris analysis, and that's how they helped people get well. So I'd say Germany and Italy, they are pretty foundational with their iridology in those countries. They're also having iridology conferences in Spain. And when I was in Sri Lanka, they were open-minded enough to require the optometrist to have to study iridology in their college.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Philippines is becoming very, they're using a lot of iridology there. I would say the heart of it's probably Germany and Italy.
And just so you guys know, there's a Dr. Lo Riotto, right?
Dr. Lorito from Italy.
Lorito. Yeah, Lorito. And I remember you telling me that they confirmed a lot of your chart literally mechanically, meaning scientifically, hard science. They pointed a laser in someone's eye and saw that reaction field, like the heart. Then they saw when they did the laser, then the heart would actually react physiologically when they shine that light into the eye. So they confirmed everything that Ellen's research showed for the last 25 years, and Bernard before them, and then obviously all the generations before them, and what Ellen presented tonight. So just so you know, it's, in my opinion, it's out of the pseudoscience, out of the
It's not soft
fringe.
science.
It's not soft science anymore. It's been very much confirmed by these guys that are over in Europe and Italy and Germany, by saying, no, we see a physiological change when we literally point it in this reaction field in this eye in particular.
Yeah, Dr. Lorito has been a good friend for nearly 40 years. And when I was forming the International Iridology Practitioners Association, he joined forces with me. And he's an otolaryngologist, so he's absolutely brilliant. And he decided to take colored lights and shine into specific organ areas like the thyroid, and he affected healing on the thyroid or on the kidney. And he actually did that work on me, which actually really helped my thyroid a lot. And so it's called iridotherapy, to where you shine specific colored lights into areas of the iris to affect healing on those organ areas, which proved our chart. So it's pretty cool. It's very, very amazing. Dr. Lorito is outstanding, brilliant doctor in Italy.
Let's see. Roxanne asked that she's done Iridology 1 and 2. And then she asked if you're offering just Iridology 2 in the near future.
Just 2?
Yeah, but I know you're working on 3, huh?
Oh, we're going to have an Iridology 3 in December.
Yeah.
Right. But you have to be certified in 1 and 2 before you can take 3, or you'll be lost.
Yeah, I would imagine. But Roxanne, I mean, as far as I know, Dr. Allen, you do 1 and 2 every year in the summer, like you just did.
I do it all over the world, but I do it in this country for sure every year in the summer.
Awesome. Oh,
I'm teaching in Greece, and I'm teaching in Greece next March.
Oh, wow. And then in December, when you're doing Iridology 3, are you doing it there?
Yes.
Okay. That's in Southern California, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah. If you want the dates, I can give them to you.
Oh my gosh.
I believe it's December here. December 4th through the 8th. December 4th through 8th.
December 4th.
It's 5 days. So that's a Wednesday through Sunday, where we'll be doing Iridology 3 here.
Awesome. Let's see, where to purchase oat straw. Where was that again?
Mountain Rose Herbs.
Mountain Rose.
Online. Or you can go to their website, and they have a phone number also. They have probably every wonderful herb you can imagine, and you can order it in bulk there.
Awesome.
Mountain Rose Herbs, correct.
Awesome. Okay, so then, and then Kate, I'd like to be able to actually ask my question versus typing it. Yeah, absolutely. Kate, we're ready for you. If you want to unmute.
Awesome. Peace, how are you guys? Can you hear me well?
Hi, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
Where are you located? Where are you, Kate?
I'm actually in New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
welcome.
I'm in New Jersey. So this is awesome. I'm so glad that I caught this webinar, because I was looking at my emails after I bought your chart, for my room. And so I guess it just kind of updated me in my emails. And I was like, let's go. It was like 30 minutes before. And I was like, yay, I can make it. So just my brief question. Also, just thank you for the work that you've done in general and just devoting your life to this study to even create this foundation for us to continue and evolve it as we go through. So this is awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm actually a student right now in naturopathy, and part of naturopathy, my naturopathy studies has been iridology. And I've observed myself kind of fraining away from like, because I get to kind of go into each subject, nutrition, herbalism, and then ideology, like I'm on my own pace. And I've seen that I've been a little bit more, there's a little bit more resistance with ideology because it's a bit more intimidating. Um, in the space of, you know, studying it and doing it in the space that I'm doing it pretty much by myself in a way, guided, but still like by myself. And so my question more so for you is, when it comes to like cameras, because a lot of people say just start off. I know you literally went through your journey and was like, hey, I'm going to invest in a really great camera. And from the space that I'm in right now, I kind of want to see, do you have any recommendations for just cameras that just to start off in terms of like being able to essentially do my assignments? Part of it is just for me to be able to like, you know, get familiar with that space of being able to take someone's picture and then sit with them and have that conversation with them and stuff like that. Do you have any um, recommendations for like a beginner camera that's still very good quality to be able to share that space? And then also, what are your recommendations for someone that is, I know you obviously are a teacher, so you've seen so many people grow into this space. What are some of your recommendations in terms of people that are just starting off with this? And it can be a little bit intimidating in terms of like the eyes show and tell you so much. And it's like, I'm like, which one's more important? What's the great space? So any recommendations of where to start? And also with people that are kind of doubtful, but like are curious at the same time. So it's like, does that make sense? My question, the second question.
Oh yeah. So we recommend a camera that it's around 800 or 900, I believe, by Ironic that we carry, and it's a good starter camera if you don't want to get the $2,000 to $5,000 camera. But honestly, you can use the high-powered magnifying lens and hold it over the eye and use a cell phone and take a picture through it.
I actually have that. I bought it from you're talking about the one that's on your website?
Magnifying lens.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you hold it in front of the eye and take the picture through it with a good, very good cell phone camera, you can get pretty good eye pictures to start out with.
That's what we've been doing, and we've found great success on seeing quite a bit on the eyes just using your tool and literally our phone camera. So that's what we've been using for our people.
Awesome. Yeah, because I have that tool, the magnifying glass, just even having the light and stuff instead of having a magnifying glass and then a light like that, just the tool that you have is so much more convenient. So I will try that. I actually didn't think about combining the two. The way that I was learning was kind of taking my phone and then putting it on a certain setting. But sometimes it was challenging because you would get this like the light aura in there and it would kind of change. But okay, so I will try that first. I will try the magnifying glass since I already have that. Just play around with that.
Make sure the blinds are closed. If you have a lot of sunlight in the room, it could cast shadows on your picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the other thing you ask is what to look out first when you look in an eye. I look at the color. So if it's a brown eye, talk to them about their blood and their blood sugar and their blood pressure and if they're anemic. You can also pull down underneath the eyelid and look inside, and if it's white, they're anemic. If it's bright red, they're not. You can also then, if it's a blue eye, talk to them about their lymph. And if it's a mixed eye, talk to them about their digestion and their liver. So just knowing those three things to start with, I look at the color, and then I look at the structure. Is it a very loose weave where they would have more deficiencies, or a very tight weave where they would be more resilient? Or tight weaves also have to work with their nervous system. Then I look at the collarette and the inside. How are they digesting? What's going on with their digestion? So I always start with color, then structure, then digestion.
Thank you so much. That's like a lot, like so digestible, honestly. That was a really
Do you
good
mind if
way
I
to break it
ask
down.
where you're studying, where you're in school?
Yes. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Fredara, Sharon.
Mm, Sharon, Farida Sharon. Oh, she's been
Farida.
my friend for 50 years. I've known Farida forever. She's
Yes,
awesome.
yes. She really is. She really is. In
Well,
her
tell her
her
hello.
courses.
She's a beautiful soul.
I will. Yay. Okay, I'll let her know that I joined this webinar. Yeah, so but it's online. So it's great, but it's not the same as like being physically in person. So sometimes I have that little space of like, oh my goodness, am I doing this right? And also just being in the space. So I'm a nurse, and so this space sometimes can be challenged a lot in like the traditional
Right.
American space where like ideology is not a real thing. And I'm like, guys, like, so like if only you guys knew, like, you know what I'm saying? This space is so real. And so people are often always ask, as I'm studying, people are like, can you just like look in my eyes and just tell me? But it's like from a space of skeptics, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, just but I just wanted to kind of simplify it because sometimes I go so deep into a space and I'm still learning. So then I find a space where I'm like, oh, I'm not sure actually right here. So take a step back, but that's a lot more digestible for me to kind of approach my studies. But
Well, that's why we have our iridology organization, because we're bringing science to the
yes.
world in iridology. And that was when Bernard Jensen passed away. He asked me to carry on iridology, and I felt like, well, when I pass away, I would be lost. But we have an organization now with a research department and all kinds of instructors all over the world. So that's why I worked to found that organization, so it will go on long after I'm gone.
Yes, yes, I'll definitely. And what is that organization called? Is it
It's
like how do you?
the International Iridology Practitioners Association, iridollyassn.org. And if you become a member, you can get our journals every month, and you can get a discount on our webinars every month. I teach a lot of webinars. We have iFlix, where you can be a part of iFlix. It's like Netflix, but you can go back and watch all the teachers, including me, for all the amazing topics that we've taught all these years. So
Oh, that's
IPA has a lot of wonderful resources, and we're a worldwide family now in iridology.
Yay! Well, I'm looking forward to joining because this is the beginning of my adventure. So I appreciate, and I don't want to take any more time. I'm sure there's other questions, but thank you so much.
You're
I
most
appreciate it
welcome,
so much.
Kate.
And
Thank you.
Kate, just so you know, and anyone else that's considering the online course, just so you guys know, we had thought the same thing, that we were like, well, we're going to miss out on like actually connecting with Dr. Ellen. And I remember getting a call from her, and we were talking about the course, and she was like, no, if you want, just email me any questions. My door's always open. Like, I want you guys to learn this. And it was just, so refreshing, because sometimes when you buy an online course, it's like, that is what you're getting, right? Because it's a lower price, so on and so forth. But she still is willing to open up her door and say, no, feel free to go on and ask me questions as you move through the course material. My door's open. So just so you guys know, like that's kind of who she is. So even if you can only go the online route, you still get some live golden nuggets from her as much as you want. So I urge you to definitely connect with her.
So I'm in support of you, Kate. And if you go on ellenjensen.com, you can see all kinds of things you can continue studying with. And Yeah,
Yes.
so welcome to the Iridology community.
Thank you. Yeah, I've definitely, your tools have already been like, if my room literally has all the posters that you have, and also the magnifying glass, because no, there has not been one chart so far, and this is just my opinion, that I quite enjoy other than yours, because you have it so organized, it's so clean and clear. The colors, it's just easy to look at. Sometimes it can, like I said, you can have that overwhelming feeling by, it's like, this is here, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, like all this stuff. But just the way that you color code the zones and everything like that, it's so helpful. So I really, really appreciate it. And then after I got that, I was like, wait, this actually is really helpful. And then I got the magnifying glass. And so yes, your work has definitely has touched me. So thank you.
You're most welcome.
Awesome. All right. Next one is, I've had a few head injuries. Most recent was 2017 with a severe concussion, and my left eye has significantly changed prescription even months since then. Can nutritional supplements help with this? I injured the right side of my brain, which makes sense with the left eye issues. Maybe
Right.
not the right place. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, this is a good question, I think.
So the question is what to do for it, or?
Yeah, what to do for it with the head injury. Can nutritional supplements help with this
Absolutely.
since they injured the
Also,
right side of their brain?
Also, cranial sacral work is very important for head injuries and how the brain connects with the eyes. So I would get a good cranial sacral therapist to work on that. And then I would also, you need eye nutrients like lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, bilberry, eyebright. And one of my favorites is called OcuPlus by the company Karuna, Karuna. And you would need to take about 2-3 times a day to really re-nourish the eyes, and it helps the brain as well. So that product is pretty easy because it has pretty much everything in there. And then just eat lots of foods that are high in orange color, like orange bell peppers, orange carrots. The carotenoids in those are going to strengthen your eyes. And then maybe just do some palming, rub your hands together and lay them over your eyes. That's a very helpful thing to do as well.
What would you recommend for blood pressure? They don't say high or low, they just say blood pressure.
Blood pressure, well, there's a big difference between low and high. If it's too low, I recommend licorice root. Licorice root will raise the blood pressure. But if you have elevated blood pressure, do not take licorice root, obviously. High blood pressure usually comes because the liver needs some cleansing. Because when your liver gets backed up, I call it a traffic jam in the liver, then all your blood has to go through your liver and it's not being processed. So it backs up and makes the heart have to pump harder. Or the kidneys aren't functioning properly, eliminating the fluids that need to be eliminated. So it backs up and makes the heart have to pump harder. So a good nutritional program, like in my book, Health is Your Birthright, is a good place to start. Beet juice is wonderful because it helps relax the blood vessels and helps the heart not to pump as hard. Then also you might consider a sunflower lecithin, which is emollient, and it scrubs the plaque out of the arteries, which can make the heart have to pump harder. But if you've tried all that and you still have elevated blood pressure, there is a wonderful herb from India called Muktavati, 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 by the company Ivy's. And Muktavati is amazing for lowering blood pressure.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Someone wanted to share that in Hawaii, the healers call the colon the gateway to the heaven.
That's correct. Yeah. You can't have happy thoughts with a sour stomach.
Mhm.
If your colon's messed up, you've got toxins everywhere in your brain and everywhere in your body. So getting your colon straightened out, it is the gateway to heaven, which is you're connected through your pineal gland with God and higher resources. And by the way, if you're using a lot of fluoride in your toothpaste, it hardens your pineal gland and your thyroid.
And then, Dr. Allen, sometimes we recommend tamarind paste
To
is
decalcify.
really great for decalcifying the pineal.
It's wonderful, absolutely. You might want to tell where you get it so that people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we ours is Pure India, I think is the company we get ours from.
That's a good company, yeah.
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 Someone asked, what about sauerkraut for cabbage sauce?
Sauerkraut's great, and it's really great for the gut. So it has all the good friendly bacteria. 80% of our immune system is in the gut. And those are our forgotten soldiers, our friendly bacteria. And so sauerkraut helps to nourish those. And it's a good cabbage source, absolutely.
Awesome.
But if you have an ulcer or a real problem with bleeding in your blood vessels, you need cabbage juice. You need a concentrated cabbage juice. You can drink 6-8 ounces of cabbage juice a couple of times a day and get rid of ulcers.
Wow.
And bleeding.
Matthew, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you've had like cataracts removed or any type of LASIK surgery, does that change the shape or anything that you're looking at in the eye?
It depends on how well the surgeon did. I've seen some pretty whacked up eyes from both of those surgeries. I have photographed thousands and thousands of eyes. And so if they cut into the stroma or the part of the iris that is separate from where the cataracts are, it will leave a hole in the iris. And so we can't see anything there except for a black hole. So, but if they did a really good job, because they're doing better and better jobs now than they did back when I started Iridology, then no, it doesn't interfere with what we see in the eyes.
Fair enough. Someone asked a comb in the pupillary border and a square collarette. Is that a sign of diabetes and heart?
A squaring collarette is a genetic sign for blood sugar issues. It affects the pancreas. The other thing is if you have a rust-colored pupil, that's showing blood sugar issues as well. So those are the two things I look at.
Awesome. Are bioflavonoids good for varicose veins?
Absolutely. When I was working I studied with Dr. Ernst Bauer, and I did interned in Presura Clinic in Switzerland for 2 years. We used to blend cabbage with a little raw apple cider vinegar and ginger root to improve the circulation, make a mush and put it on the legs, on the veins, and wrap them with saran wrap to make the nutrients go into the legs and elevate the legs through the night. and then also drink cabbage juice to strengthen the blood vessels.
Wow. There you
Yeah,
go.
I've seen people with varicose veins like grapes that got better.
Wow.
And would that, would cabbage juice then apply to anything that's connective tissue related? Would that also,
Yes.
besides varicose veins, that would include like hemorrhoids and hernias and things like
Yes.
that?
Yes, because a hemorrhoid is a varicose vein in the rectum. Yeah, so strengthening connective tissue, and then the oat straw tea also strengthens connective tissue. Yeah.
Awesome. And then someone asked if they can take Iridology 1 and 2 online, and that is yes, absolutely. You can take it. We're in the middle of watching it for the second and third time. So for sure you can take that. And again, like we said, you can, connect with Dr. Ellen in between that classwork to ask questions, and she is very gracious with her time.
And Matthew, if we want to book an appointment with her, do we do it online with her?
No, you just call. I believe they have.
If they would email,
Right.
yeah, Ellen@ellenjensen.com. Ellen@ellenjensen.com. I can give them, we can give them a time and figure out whether they're coming in or if they're going to be at a distance.
Okay. And Ellen, I think I've done that. And I just, I think I used that correct address, and I may have even texted the number, but I think your phone number doesn't receive text messages, correct? The 767.
It's a
Okay.
landline.
Okay.
That's a land. So you can leave a message on the landline, but it's really good if you could just email me, because I have to email you a health history form to fill out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Someone wanted to share that they have a clip-on 10x magnification lens that fits over the cell phone camera lens.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Cool.
What company is that by? I'd be curious.
Yeah, I don't know. Deborah, if you don't mind, either, you can unmute, or if you want to put it in the chat, if you're still on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hi, Ellen. It's Deborah
Hi, Deborah.
Carroll. Hi.
Oh
I'm
my
in Santa Fe,
goodness, from New Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, she took
I
my
bought
class.
it online so long ago. I don't remember, but that's what I use. But I wish I had an 8x lens, because with the 10x lens, you have to get so close to the person's eye to get the focus. And then you got to have room for the flashlight. It's got to be held just right. And I had another question. Does it matter what type of light? Because nowadays they have all these different types of flashlights with LED lights. And I mean, we should be careful what type of flashlight we shine into the eyes, right?
Dr. Jensen always just used a regular flashlight.
Yeah, just a regular one. Okay. Because nowadays they got these ones that are so bright,
No, don't use those.
Okay.
But what type of lens is over your cell phone camera?
Yeah, it's a little clip-on lens that I bought online, and it's a 10x magnification. They call it a macro lens.
Okay.
So you could photograph an insect or some tiny detail.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was about $10, I think.
Yeah, they're not very.
And it just clips over. And like, I have an old iPhone that only has like one lens. Now, the new iPhones, they have like 3 different lenses. So I don't know which lens you would clip it over. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I guess.
but
Try
anyway,
to clip it over the main one.
yeah.
It's so nice to see you, Deborah. It's really been a long time.
Yeah, lots of continued healing. And I really loved the poem that was shown at the beginning, because, I'm 68 now, and we keep going through all these cycles, and it's just so amazing, it's just so amazing you just have like more awareness as you get older and you keep revisiting stuff and getting more insight, you know. But sometimes when you feel so low, you need a poem like that to remind you.
That's right, Deborah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Next question is, what is a camera recommendation? Dr. Allen, what camera do you use in your office nowadays?
I used the one that we developed with Bernard Jensen. The camera builder is Miles Research. So if you go to milesresearch.com, he's the best camera maker in the world. And I don't say that lightly. He's really good.
Wow. Let's see.
Mark Kennedy in Australia also has a good camera. So if you're in Australia, I would connect with Mark Kennedy.
Awesome. Oh, this is a good question. Is there a software program or an app where you can plug in what your findings are and it produces a report of your findings?
Yeah, Iris Supplies has created a computerized iris analysis program. I don't use it because it slows me down. It's like trying to use training wheels when you want to fly. But yeah, it also will put a really long red line if there's a heart lacuna that's really deep. And for me, that scares the person when it's often genetic tendency and hasn't even started happening yet. So if you use it, you have to explain that to the person. And you have to outline the collarette and get it on there just right, or it's going to be off in the analysis. So Iris Supplies is Mark Kennedy. His father, Sam, created that computerized iris analysis program.
Did you help them create that at all?
Well, I did give some input to it, yeah.
Yeah,
I just never used it much because it just slowed me down. I just like to look at the eyes like that. I'm very organic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But for people that want it, I think it's great. You just have to use it in the right way.
I remember seeing this on the course. You had a self iris viewing mirror. Do you still have those?
They quit making those, but I'm trying to find a source for them.
Awesome.
It's a self-analysis mirror that was very helpful. You could just hold it up and look at your own eye.
Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Is it possible to correct your eye prescription, getting your eyes back to normal?
Absolutely. You know, I hardly ever wear my glasses unless I'm looking at something real detailed. But, you know, there's a whole procedure to that. You need to ask your optometrist to make your glasses prescription lower than what it is, and just keep getting it lower and lower to make your eyes stronger and stronger.
And one of the ways you can do that actually is because Michelle's been doing these exercises and different things.
Eye exercises are so helpful. Yeah.
I've worn contacts since about 5th grade and finally just decided that I was done with that. And so I've been working on my eyes and doing eye exercises, magic eye books, emotional exercises where I ask my eyes how old they are and what needs to be released emotionally. And I've been doing that for about 3 months now. And my prescription has gone from a -4.0 to a -1.5. So it is very possible.
And so for most people, they're, you know, when you have a negative eye, eyes, it's gonna, a lot of it's from trauma and a lot of it's from emotional trauma, stuff that might have happened to you that you didn't want to see. And so you start blurring. So one of the things that you can always start doing is kind of lean into the blur. That's one thing. Be okay and comfortable with the blur, because then your brain will start relaxing more, which will relax your eyes. Because most of us, we live in a sympathetic nervous system state. So your sympathetic nervous system pretty much is your right eye, and your left eye is your parasympathetic nervous system.
That's
And
correct.
so, you know, most of your left eye is going to be underactive. And so doing, you know, different eye exercises that do full body kind of viewing, where you can, and they have these online, right? Where you can do, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's different eye exercises where you can do, colored arrows going left, right, up, down, and you get a metronome and you do these different exercises. Michelle has a bunch of different ones that also she does literally every day. But I can tell you that you can definitely strengthen your eyes for the most part, unless you have some kind of, you know, more serious development that's happened.
Or unless there's a nutritional component that's missing.
And there are nutritional eyes things that, you know, Ellen has mentioned, like the cabbage juice compress
And eye bright.
and eye bright. Yeah.
And wild blueberries.
Oh yeah,
and
wild blueberry.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And
you
orange, bell peppers, and carrots, carotenoids.
yeah, and then I think I remember, I don't know if this would help, but I would imagine it would, is you know, lemon over the eye, cut a lemon and have that over the, is that what you said over in one of your courses? That you had talked about lemon?
If there is a cataract,
Ah, cataract, there we go.
the lemon will help it to break up and help it dissolve. It's not, I mean, it would take quite a process, but a lemon is more like if you want to break something up and dissolve it.
Got it.
Cabbage is more like if you want to heal a blood vessel.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. But the Bates eye method, also Dr. Sam Byrne has lots of books on eyes. Also, the black pinhole glasses. Dr. Jeffrey Anschel, also a really great holistic optometrist, has some great books as well.
Yeah. Let's see. My husband had a stroke, healed pretty well, but a couple of lingering issues with nervous system being set to 11, buzzing and weakness on the left.
Buzzing where? In the ear?
Ooh, good question. Carrie, if you're still on, if you want to unmute and ask. I don't know if you are.
Arm.
Yeah, it's mostly down from the shoulder down to the arm, down to the fingers in the hand on
So
the
he
left.
feels a tingling.
Tingling and buzzing
Buzzing
all the
in
time.
the ear? Buzzing in the ear?
The buzzing and tingling is over the whole body. And then it's especially, he's got weakness in the left hand, but still the buzzing, like it feels like a vice grabbing on a hand.
Okay. And that would take a whole thing to
Work
figure
up.
out. But I do know that vitamin B1 is, I'm having great results with Parkinson's and nerve issues, vitamin B1. And then taurine is an amino acid that I'm having amazing results with stopping ringing in the ears or buzzing in the ears. I also know that a large part, almost 50% of our brain and nervous system is made of lecithin. So I recommend sunflower lecithin rather than soy lecithin because soy can be very estrogenic. So sunflower lecithin can be quite helpful as well. But probably some good massage, I also recommend raindrop therapy if you can find a raindrop therapist in your area. Raindrop therapy uses layers of essential oils up and down the spine that can help go out and heal those nerves.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Lots of
Thank
great
you.
questions.
The
Someone
sun
asked,
is doing her things.
how much beet juice should you drink for blood pressure and how often?
Probably 4 ounces 3 times a day, honestly. I mean, you need to really get that beet juice in. If your stools are red, don't be alarmed, but it's beet juice and not blood. But beet juice is fantastic. Sometimes that's all you need to lower your blood pressure.
Awesome. Do you have any suggestions with people with glaucoma and the possible causes to that?
Well, again, if you think of the body as a system of pipes and tubes, and glaucoma is where fluid builds up in the eyes, so the pipes and tubes are congested. So working with a good cleanse, and I don't have time to go into, Dr. Jensen has a great book called Tissue Cleansing Through Bowel Management. And in my book, Health is Your Birthright, I have a 10-day cleanse. But I really feel like they need to cleanse the body, which will cleanse the tubes so the fluid can flow back out like it needs to. That would be very important, as well as taking OcuPlus to strengthen the vessels so it can get rid of that fluid. But in addition, vitamin B6 is a wonderful vitamin for draining fluid from the body, as well as parsley, things like that.
Wow.
Raw apple cider vinegar is also a natural diuretic. It drives the fluid out of the body. And if you have a cramp, raw apple cider vinegar in water will stop a cramp in 2 minutes because it's so high in potassium.
All right. Husband has a mole behind his one eye. Is there anything that can be done? Is there anything that can keep it from turning into cancer?
A mole behind his eye. Okay, I would recommend Easiac tea. And you can ask for that at Mountain Rose Herbs. Easiac tea helps dissolve tumors, moles, cysts, things like that. And then I would also do the cabbage poultices.
Yeah. Awesome. And someone asked where you're actually located specifically in Southern California. What's
San
the area?
Marcos. San Marcos. I'm 45 minutes northeast of San Diego.
I'm not sure. Christy, you had asked to clarify the tea herb name off of Mountain Rose, but I'm not sure which tea you're referring to.
Oh, she may be talking about the oat straw tea.
Yeah, possibly. Let's see here. Good night, Michelle. Okay. Morning powder is good. Let's see. Can anything be done to avoid cataract surgery? I guess that would be going back to the same things that we've been talking about, right? Yeah, cleaning with the lemon to break up, right? We talked about the lemon.
Dr. Christopher has an eye bright. Eye bright herb that you can use in a little bit of water and use an eye cup, but it has cayenne in it. I mean, it really works to break up that cataract. The other thing is wheatgrass juice you can use in an eye cup to help break up the cataract, but celery juice helps to soften any kind of crystals in the body. And omega-3, if you're vegan, the best omega-3 is clary sage omega-3.
Wow. And let's see, what are your thoughts about castor oil over the eyelids at night?
That's the other thing I was going to say. It's wonderful. You can massage around your eyelids, which also helps to break up the cataract. Castor oil dissolves scar tissue and hardenings in areas.
Did you learn as you go, or did you get additional training?
I'm learning every minute of every day. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. So I'd say I had additional and additional and additional, and I'm still on additional.
And then the last comment, someone recommended pearl powder really helps with cataracts, ground pearls. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I don't know much about that. I'd love to see. I'm still learning.
There's a really good company called Crucial 4, and they make a pearl powder.
Oh, that is true.
And it's very high in nutrients that are really good for connective tissue, for bones, for things
You're
like that.
taking it orally.
It's a powder that
Yeah,
you
for oral.
can mix into smoothies, foods, however you want to utilize your powders.
Okay, very good.
And then the last question, and then we'll call it for the night since we're we've spent the last hour on Q&A, which has been great, and appreciate all your time, Dr. Ellen. So this last one is, what are your thoughts on observing the eye characteristics of people who have been raw vegan for long periods?
Their eyes are very clear. They have very few red blood vessels in the whites of the eyes. Their vision is very good. I would just say that they're brighter, they're more clear, yeah.
Cool.
They have all their pipes and tubes cleaned out. So the eyes are made of blood vessels, and those are pipes that, vegan diet keeps it cleaned out.
Wow.
Now, I do want to I just have to say this. One of my students that was in my class in Brazil in 2010 is on this call. And I don't know if she wants to identify herself or not, but I just want to say I honor you.
And just curious, Dr. Ellen, how many eyes do you think you've actually analyzed?
Oh, goodness.
Tens of thousands, maybe over
Yes,
100,000?
definitely tens of thousands. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I still have all the records of every single one.
Wow.
Yeah, I have about 20 filing cabinets full of records, maybe 25 filing cabinets full of records. And I love them all so much, I don't want to part with them, because I still have people that come back after 20 years that I haven't seen, and I have their records.
Wow. Okay. No, I appreciate it, Dr. Allen. I don't know if that person wanted to say hi real quick before we get off. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And Dr. Allen, like this was what a wealth of information, and thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And this will be this has been recorded, so we'll get this uploaded and to everyone and out to everyone in the next 24 to 48 hours probably. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Thank you.